Welcome. You are listening to the Cornerstone Life podcast. We hope as you listen to these conversations, you leave encouraged that God sees you and is at work in your life. Well, welcome to our Cornerstone Life podcast. My name is Julia. Me and my husband, Johnny, are the children's pastors here at Cornerstone Church, and we have special guests today. We have Pastor Hunter and Pastor Timber. They are our youth pastors here at Cornerstone, and so we just wanted to get them together to get to know them, get to know how they became youth pastors here, just to get to know you guys a little bit more. So welcome. We're so glad you're here. Okay, so
thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're just gonna have a conversation, and I remember when I first met you guys. Okay, well, I remember more so when I first met Timber. It was at youth group.
Yep.
And she came right up to me, and I was like, hi. It was such a funny, awkward converation.
Yeah. I think
back,
I just wanted you to know that Hunter was mine.
Yeah. I think at the time I was engaged to Johnny, too. We're like, we were dating for sure. It was so funny. So, okay, well, let's get into that. Okay, so, well, first, let's start with you, Timber.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you meet Jesus? Yeah. And tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was going to say grew up in the church, but I didn't really grow up in the church. So I went to church occasionally as like a young child. Didn't know Jesus, but I knew there was like a God.
Yeah.
Like I knew Jesus was a person, right? But then kind of like fast forward, my parents were married for 14 years. They were going through a divorce when I was like 5th grade going into 6th grade. And my mom took me and my 2 sisters and moved us to Gladstone, Missouri. And I found a friend. She became my best friend. And actually, she just like started taking me to church. And that is when I gave my life to the Lord. I'm not going to lie. Like when I gave my life to the Lord, it was kind of like a creepy setting, like dark room. A leader was like, if you want to give your life to Jesus, raise your hand. And I was like, nobody's looking around. I raised my hand, and then they like came and grabbed us and took us out of the room. So it was like really weird. Now that I look back, and I'm like, we would never do that.
That's so funny.
So I gave my life to Jesus that night, and that was kind of like the start for me.
Yeah.
I went to church with my friend every Sunday, but I wasn't really, I mean, I still was kind of like clueless, you know? And so I really don't think it was until I started coming to Cornerstone, which my Nana had brought us here. We kind of like church hopped for a while. And so she had brought us here and she was like, you should go to the youth group. And I was like, no. Big no, actually. And after like probably a year, I started driving, and me and my sister were like, okay, let's just try it. Tried it, fell in love, and rededicated my life probably a dozen times, just to make sure I was like actually saved. And that is when I think my relationship with the Lord just really took off, and like I started living for God. And so, that's kind of like when I met Jesus, I would say like for real. 6th grade, like gave my life. 16, I was like, yes, I'm all in. Like whatever you have for me, God, I'm going to rededicate my life every week if I have to.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Okay, what about you, Hunter?
So I did grow up in church. I just didn't really live it out. I would rededicate my life every year at camp. Until I came to Cornerstone. I had a friend who got saved here, and he kept trying to invite me. He knew I went to church, and I was like, I already have a church. I'm okay, you know.
Hey, this is exciting. Be excited.
It is very exciting.
So I was just kind of on the fence about coming, and finally I gave in, came, and but really what caused me to even want to come was I started to see his life change in a really powerful way. Like he was just, like we were skater kids, so we were kind of punks, and we would do a lot of dumb things. But like he stopped doing that stuff. He stopped cussing. He stopped, and his life really started to look like Jesus.
Wow.
And when I saw that, I remember thinking, like, Lord, you have to be real. Like, if you can do that for him, could you do it for me? And then I came and had a powerful encounter during worship. It was like one of those moments where I was like, okay, I've gone to church my whole life, and I've never known if you're real or not. But if you can do what you did for my friend, would you do it now? And in worship, I just lifted my hands. I was like, just like, help me, Lord. I need help. I need out of this mess I'm in. And in that moment, it was like a 10-gallon bucket of his presence just
so cool.
fell on me. And really that was like the start of me really starting to give my life to the Lord. And it was a grueling process of like coming close and falling away and coming close. And slowly but surely, I just kept getting more and more consistent, and the Lord got more and more a hold of my life, and I got involved in worship and started playing bass on the worship team.
And he didn't know how.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. They were just like, play bass. I was like, I don't know how. And they were
That's
like,
so
yes, you
funny.
do. I'm
Wow.
like, no, I don't.
That's
But I
so
was up there
funny.
playing, and it was fun. And ever since then, I just always ended up coming back to worship. And it's just a real passion of mine now, which is funny because growing up in church, I really did not have a passion for worship. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it was fun. I thought it was a boring waste of time. I figured, like, why not get to the message?
Yeah.
And then maybe we can have some songs for the people who are like encountering, like, just don't do them at the beginning. It's boring. And once I really encountered the Lord in worship, then I was like, oh, like we get to encounter you in a real way.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
yeah, ever since then, it's just been going after God.
Wow, that is so cool. I love it how the way you guys met Jesus is even the way your ministry is now. Like, that is so cool. I feel like that, and just even seeing you guys, like, they are like the best youth pastors I have ever seen. Like, every time I'm like, what'd you guys do last night? Oh, we hung out with some youth students. Like, you guys are always pouring into your youth students and always just like pouring into the youth group and this next generation. It's just so cool to see. And so, but you guys lived it. You guys encountered God at youth at here, right?
Yeah, literally at Cornerstone.
At Cornerstone.
Yeah.
And that is so cool. Okay, so this is like everyone's dying to know. How'd you guys meet?
Youth.
Everything's
So
in-
Hunter is actually like right under 3 years older than me. So he's like 2 years, 9 months. So my very first time actually coming to youth, I was 16 years old. I drove here and I wasn't really expecting much. Walked through the doors, we started worship, and I saw this.
Met the love of her life.
I did. I met the love of my life.
Wait, Jesus or Hunter?
Both. So I saw this man on stage.
I was not a man.
Okay, this
A boy.
trying to be a man.
Yeah.
I saw him on stage. I saw Hunter on stage, and he had this long, like, beautiful black curly hair. Looking back,
so funny.
I'm like, that was a mullet, not beautiful.
Oh, funny.
I
So-
looked pretty whack.
Yeah, so he just had like this long, beautiful hair.
Yeah.
And he had this guitar. And he was just like so beautifully singing. But what's funny is like you couldn't actually hear him because they had his mic turned all the way down. And it was that moment where
Still working
I
on it.
literally said, I will marry that man. I was in
gosh.
love. But of course, I was 16 and he was 19. And that was like, yeah, no, because he was a leader.
Yeah.
I was a student. So kind of like fast forward, I was consistent in youth, like I was all in. And then I graduated, and our leaders our youth pastors at the time, who are now our best friends, they kind of were like, okay, Timber's graduated. She's legal. So
Setting them up.
Yeah. And they knew I was in love with him. I let everybody know, like, Hunter's mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I made sure they knew because, like, he was mine. I even made a video, I think my junior or senior year. I have it on my phone. And I literally said, I'm like, hi, my name's Timber Ellis. This is 2017, and I'm going to marry Hunter Ellis.
That's so
I mean, I'm Timber
funny.
Earthman.
Oh, yeah. She was speaking it into
I was speaking
existence.
it. But
worked.
anyways.
Words of faith.
Yeah, so like our youth pastors who became our best friends, they were kind of like facilitating like these hangouts.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, Timber, you want to come hang out with us? And then I'd show up and I'm like, Hunter, you're here?
Yeah, but to me, they'd be like, you ready for your date? I'm
Yeah,
like,
so that's what they'd say to
That's
Hunter.
funny.
Yeah, and so we kind of like hung out a
I
lot.
thought we were just hanging out.
But in these hangouts, mind you, Hunter never talked to me. Like, ever. And I wanted to, but he had like no
So what was
interest.
going on in your head?
Tell
Like,
him.
were you just oblivious or?
Yeah, a little bit.
Hey,
But-
no, you knew I liked you.
No, I knew you liked me, but I was also just
Okay, but tell the truth.
The whole
Kinda-
church knew.
So the truth is this.
uninterested.
He was uninterested because Hunter was like, this chick is not genuine.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was part of it.
He thought I was super like not like disingenuous because he's like, there's no way she can be happy like all the time.
Oh,
He's like, you were always smiling. He's like, there's
Aw.
no way. Like, that's
Yeah.
true, real. So, anyways, he like just wouldn't give me the time of day, and I was just like, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. I knew I was gonna marry him. Like deep down, I just knew he was gonna fall for me one day.
That's so
I was very
awesome.
confident in that. And then I think what kind of like switched for Hunter, honestly, and like falling in love with me, if I knew this is what it took, no, I'm just kidding, is my dad actually passed away right after I graduated college or high school. So in October, he had passed away. And Patrick and Raquel, the youth pastors at the time who are now our best friends, they text like the leaders in a group chat. Mind you, I had no idea of this. Like, I did not know they did this, let alone know that they were going to come. And they were like, hey, Timber's dad passed away. Like, do you guys want to go to the funeral with us? Because they were planning on going.
Yeah.
And for some weird reason, Hunter's like, sure. Me and Hunter have never had a conversation.
Oh, we did. We had small.
Yeah, like, hi.
small-
Hey, you're wearing the same sweater as me. Cool. Like, that's our conversation.
So funny.
And so him and Patrick and Raquel and a couple other leaders, one other leader, came to my dad's funeral, and I actually spoke at my dad's funeral. And Hunter told me, he's like, that's the moment that like switched for me, where I was like, wow, like she's happy, like regardless of her circumstances. And he said he felt for me then.
Yeah.
But it took another like 3 months, 2.5 months for him to actually like text me. And
Well, it was Snapchat too.
yeah, it was so lame. If you're watching this, don't Snapchat
Yeah.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just lame.
That's so
But yeah,
funny.
so he Snapchatted me, and it was the same video he sent to our group chat, which I was also in. So I got the video twice. I was like totally uninterested, so I didn't reply for 5 minutes. And then after 5 minutes, I was like, this is my chance.
That's so funny.
I replied, and literally the rest is history. Started dating
Yeah.
like
Started
2 weeks later.
FaceTiming all the time too.
Yeah, our
because of
first
that.
date, he asked me out.
Because they started doing the video chats on
Yeah.
Snapchat, so we would just do that all the time.
But also, he told me he loved me before he asked me out. So like 7 days into talking, he's like, I love you. And I said, what?
Aww.
But then I was like, I love you too, babe.
Always have.
Yeah.
Ever since I was 16.
Yeah. You have a video. Oh, I love him.
Yeah, right? So, yeah.
So technically, you may have said it first, but not to his face.
That's true. Like, I literally did. And then when he actually said he loved me, I was like, no. But then I was like, yeah, I for sure love you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just trying to play hard to get.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, you did kind of do that a little bit,
Yeah, just for a second.
which I was like thrown by because you made it clear to me and everybody how much you loved me.
I know I did.
But the real
You made me
deal.
wait so long
Yeah.
that I had to
you were.
make you
so
work
like,
for it.
How old were you when you started dating?
So I had just turned 19, like
Okay.
freshly 19, and he was
21?
22.
22?
21. No, you were about to turn 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was about to turn 22. And then, so we dated and then got engaged on our 6-month anniversary of dating and then got married like 10, 11 months later.
Then had a baby.
And then had a baby. Yeah.
And then another baby.
And then another baby, yeah. And we're going to have more babies.
Yes.
Lord willing.
Yes, Timber and Hunter will be the one with the huge vans,
We're gonna
15
need two
passenger.
vans.
Oh, two
No, I'm just kidding.
vans. Because they're going to
passenger.
have too many vans.
Yeah, I like those 15 passenger.
Yeah, because you're going to have so many kids.
Yeah, we used to say that.
Drive good too.
I used to say, we're going to have 6 kids. And like, it's not like out of the question, but also we're just taking it one at a time.
One kid at a time.
Yeah,
They're super
one
cute.
kid at a time. They are.
So, okay, so you guys got married in June of 2019.
Yeah.
And then you had, so then what happened after that?
Yeah, I got married in June. I was actually still in college.
Oh, yeah.
So I was finishing my bachelor's degree in business management.
Yeah.
And
she's smart, guys. She's smart.
I'm smart. I'm just kidding.
You are.
So yeah, I was finishing my degree. I had a year left. We got married in June. Yeah, I had literally like a year left. And he was working, he's an automotive technician. So he was working at Cable Dahmer on State Line. And we were just, doing married couple things. We would go on dates all the time. And it was so fun.
Time.
And we lived in downtown Lake Summit.
Yeah.
And so we were just like walking downtown all the time.
Yeah.
Gosh, we were
on
going
walks,
on walks
walking
and
to our
runs.
dates.
Yeah, walking to our dates.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know. I guess
It's a dream.
it was literally a dream.
Yeah.
Like we look back at it and we're like, oh, we should do a throwback date night.
Oh, yeah. That's so cute.
It was so fun. And then, 6 months into marriage, we found out we were pregnant and we were like, whoa. Wasn't expecting that, but yay!
Hey, well, you were a little upset because it wasn't in your 5-year plan.
Okay, yeah. So
You're a planner.
I'm a planner. But I've like let go of the planning now
Yeah.
that I've become a mother. I'm like, it just doesn't always work that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't in my 5-year plan. My plan was we're gonna wait 2 years. I'm gonna get a job.
But it was the Lord's plan.
It
so.
literally was the
Yeah.
Lord's plan, and I look back and I'm like, thank you, Jesus,
Yeah.
for Shepherd and now
Right.
Birdie. But I'm like, thank you just for like.
Yeah, they have the best
Jumping in.
names. There's
Yeah.
Hunter, Timber, Shepherd, and Birdie.
Yeah.
It's like the best names. all the time my family will oh, that would be a good name for Hunter and Timber. We should have like a name
Yeah, just send them over, guys. Send them over.
Big old bulletin board. We can just,
Yeah, like if other people won't use them, typically we will.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, they're
take 'em.
perfect.
Not a good name for us,
Perfect
but
names.
Hunter and Timber would love it.
Yeah, we say
Yeah.
the same thing about baby names. So we're like, not a good name for us. But yeah, it's great for you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so we found out we were pregnant with Shepherd. Had him.
In 2020.
Yeah, in 2020, I was still in school. So I was like going to school, found out I was pregnant. I was like, whoa. And then COVID hit. So school went all online and I was like, well, thank you, Lord, for that.
Yeah.
So I literally got to enjoy pregnancy at home while doing school. And then we actually had him a month early. So
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
It was a
So
surprise.
I don't know how to slow down. And so I was just like, go, go, go throughout my whole pregnancy. And then, had him. And it was like the best experience ever. He was like the best baby ever. The Lord just like completely answered every single prayer from like birth to delivery to his health and postpartum.
Perfect baby, even
a month early, not one issue. And the
Yeah.
doctors just kept saying like, are
you
you
sure?
sure? Are you sure this is
this
your due
really
date?
his
Like, are
due
you
date?
sure? And we were like, yeah, we're sure. I mean, we literally had our friends praying in the car with Hunter in the parking lot over me. Yeah, and we had so many
'cause they
people
wouldn't
from
let
the
me
church.
in for forever, which
Oh
was
yeah,
really
because of
stressful.
2020.
Yeah, poor Hunter. He almost
COVID.
missed the birth.
I really did. Yeah. So
To both
wasn't
of our-
allowed to
no,
come in.
To both of them.
Yeah. but yeah, we had Shepherd and then accepted. I actually still hadn't found a job after I graduated because of COVID. It was just like crazy.
Right.
And so we kind of just put like me working like in the Lord's hands, and because I was kind of working at a coffee shop actually. So I was the barista. And yeah, I was just finally like, I guess I'm just going to stay a barista for a while. I mean, we were doing fine. And then the Lord opened doors to youth ministry. And yeah, but life's been great since. We had another baby, like we said, Birdie. And yeah, now we're just youth pastors and parents, and he's still an automotive technician, but he kind of jumped to like a different shop.
Better place.
Better place, yes.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
That's so good.
That's life now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So let's kind of go backwards a little bit, because I kind of want to talk about Hunter, because you went to International House of Prayer.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about
you.
that season. And I know Timber kind of did too, because she just was wherever Hunter was, because you guys were dating at this time, right?
Oh yeah.
So you like would go to classes and stuff. I've heard you talk about.
I think I had gone to IHOP for a year.
Yeah.
before
So we started dating his second year.
Okay.
My second year.
So what'd you do
right at
there?
the end of my first year, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So what'd you do? What track did you do, or school, whatever they call it?
I did their school of worship, which is different now. I think it's called something else, but I did that, and it was just a really powerful season.
Yeah.
I felt like the Lord kind of like hid me in a way where I could still do ministry here, and just kind of like kept me in like a cauldron so I could just be with him and really learn so much about prayer and intimacy and just time with the Lord. And it was just a really cool season. But yeah, when we started dating, I would invite Timber all the time, and she would be like, whoa, this is like people like do this, and you can go to school and like
Like I didn't know that was
pray
even
and
really like a
prophesy over
possibility.
people, and
Yeah, it's so cool.
like people go to school for this. I'm like, yeah, isn't that awesome?
I'd never even heard of IHOP. So
Yeah.
for me, it was like total foreign land. I was like, what? And then, I mean, Cornerstone it's pretty charismatic.
Yeah.
So like I had seen, things happen here that was like really cool and powerful. And I've seen, people get excited for the Lord, but being invited to IHOP, which when Hunter was attending was like a totally different atmosphere and like thing for me, because I was like, whoa, like in a way I wasn't scared of like the encounters people were having. I was like, wow, how do I get that? But then
Right.
also like, am I even like worthy to receive that? So like he would invite me all the time, and I was like into class, and I was like, no, I'm not going. And he's like, just come, it'll be fun.
No.
That's where Shepherd gets it. It'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
And so, I got to go into a lot of classes. Actually, there was a class where a girl prophesied over me.
Wow.
And I'm not even going to the school. She just started prophesying over me.
That's awesome.
So it was just like a really cool season for Hunter. But also for him to like bring me along with him was honestly like really selfless of him, because I don't know. I
they
think
make it easy to do that too.
I got to experience a lot and grow a lot as well
Yeah.
in the season where like the Lord was really working in him.
Yeah.
But also I was just like so encouraged and inspired by seeing him go through IHOP.
Yeah.
Like it was so cool.
That is.
And
really
he taught me
cool.
so much.
Yeah.
I actually say that all the time. I'm like, I am at where I'm at with my walk with the Lord, clearly because of the Lord.
Right.
But Hunter like taught me. I all the time say like everything I know. I feel like
That's so sweet.
like I don't know, but you so did. I remember when we first started dating, I was so nervous to like ask him questions, because I was like, well, this is like a dumb question, No. And I just remember like he made it so clear up front. He's like, no question's a dumb question.
Right.
And so now that's what I always tell people. Like, if you have a question, ask me the question. I'm like, no question is a dumb question.
Right.
I
We
want
tell our youth that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
Is there always, I guess it's something about being a youth too, that where you just feel like shame for questioning stuff. But
Yeah.
we should be able to question things.
Yeah, and I even still ask
absolutely.
like questions that maybe I should know the answer to or whatever, or that even seem a little silly, but I still ask the questions. And so I don't know, I think that that's like the really cool thing about like hunter season at IHOP is I like kind of got to experience it too in a way.
Yeah. Wow.
But
Yeah.
That's so cool. IHOP is such a special place. Like it literally has like 24/7 prayer. Like that is the thing, the stuff that they are cultivating there is just like so cool.
yeah,
So
which Hunter
cool.
was playing in some of those sets in the morning. Were you required? You were required to, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like he would play in some of the sets, and he always chose like the 6 a.m. sets because he had to go to work right after.
Yeah.
And I don't. Was this one after we got married?
Yeah, I was like subbing in the
so
prayer room.
yeah, so after we
at
got
6
married,
a.m. so that I could go to work right after.
is
at
so
he
8.
was
cool.
subbing, and so he'd do the 6 a.m. prayer, and then he'd go straight to work. But I'd always be like, "Well, I want to go."
Yeah.
And so for the
aw.
first hour, this is so bad. For like the days that he didn't work, so like weekends, from 6 to 7, I'd sleep in the car, and then from 7 to 8, I'd do the prayer.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
I remember the first time you did that. I kept wondering, like, where's she at?
Yeah,
Is she
yeah,
like
yeah.
talking to somebody out in like the entrance? Or?
Now I was getting that extra hour.
Yep.
But I always wanted to go.
That's early.
Yeah, because like
is
you're newly
early.
married, like you always want to be together.
Yeah,
And I mean,
aw.
it's like we're newly married still because I always want to be together.
That's so
But
funny.
yeah, it was so funny. I would just sleep in the car for an hour and then go in for an hour.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
special. Like such an amazing time to look back on and stuff. And so,
Yeah.
well, I want to get into a little bit of how like just your calling and youth ministry,
Yeah.
but we're going to do that in the next podcast. So make sure to look for that. So thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us. It was
Thanks
so
for
fun to get to know you guys. There's even some things I didn't know in this story. So it's so fun to get to know you guys even more. So anyways, so join us for our next podcast as we talk a little bit more about youth ministry and how they got into youth ministry a little bit more. And so we'll see you then. Thank you for listening to the Cornerstone Life podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, we would love to meet you. Join us any Sunday at 10 a.m. at Cornerstone Church in Blue Springs. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and share. See you next time.